Good morning to you. It must be 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on this beautiful Tuesday of January on the fifth day of 2021. I'm your host, Brandon Hardison, for another Hardison's Tips, where we try to help out all of our brothers and sisters in the sales vertical, whether it's major account, key account, up and down the street, door to door, retail, automotive, we're all in it together. But I'm going to pick up from the last video when we were looking at our brothers and sisters who go door to door sales and ways to increase sales in bad weather. So, just picking up from that point, what do we do when it's raining and it's door to door sales? There are a few common things that annoy most people when selling door to door in the rain. And if you're prepared, it will make it a lot easier. A common problem is wet socks and shoes. When your socks and shoes are wet, it can make door to door sales miserable. Often, when it rains, it really only comes down hard a few minutes here and there. If you can avoid being out during these intense downpours, you'll be able to avoid the problem. Now, don't make your breaks too long. If you do that, you might end up getting stuck in another downpour and miss your window of opportunity. Having several backups of stock, maybe even an extra pair of shoes in your car, or other types of solution garbs for this rainy day, and you know you're going door to door. Also, have a rain jacket and an umbrella. Not be the most exciting thing that's down the pipe, but it keeps you dry, and you can remain professional even during bad weather. If you're soaking wet when you're talking to the prospects, it will be too distracting and you will have a harder time making a sale. You don't need to be holding your umbrella at all times. You can simply leave it out of sight if it bothers you having it while you're talking to the prospects, and I completely understand. How to use weather to your advantage and increase your door to door sales. Now, depending on your product, you can use the weather to your advantage. For example, if you sell pest control, there are a lot of ways to talk about how the current weather conditions play benefits of the pest control. If it's raining, you could explain that the rain affects pest population, such as ants. They become more active after a rainstorm. You might also explain that your products are different than the ones that they could purchase in stores, and that's your stay and longer when you're in there because you may have some hit on a tool. Now, it's a hot, hot outside. You can talk about how the pets tend to move indoors and become more active when it's too hot. You see, knowing your products and finding a reason is why we make sense of what you need to be doing different in bad weather conditions. If your reason makes sense and it flows well with your sales pitch and builds value, that's the key thing. Having bad weather can bring you an additional average while selling. It will not put you in the negative. If you have a sit time, show up before that sit time with that customer. Applying tips, always researching. You can do a lot better in the field that you're in, which is door to door. Some people frown on door to door sales. I still say it's one of the toughest jobs out there because someone is going to give you an opportunity to speak. You just need to be prepared. We're just giving you some things that have been hindering door to door people in the past. On the next video, we'll explain a little bit more about how you can be successful as a door to door salesman. in 2021. Once again, Brad is Hardison for Hardison's Tips on this beautiful Tuesday, January 5th of 2021. And as always in parting, you go out and you make it a champion.